Okay, so hi everybody, and welcome to the Soul Sync Up. Thank you for being so flexible. Um, we were going to do this last Thursday, and it wasn't time. And so, after having experienced the energy this weekend, I get how come it wanted to be tonight. So again, flexibility is the name of the game. Flowing with what is the name of the game, because that's how the soul rolls. So let's just start by creating our sacred circle. And let's just all bring our hands to our heart and breathe into this beautiful now moment, where the energy of those of us present and those that will be joining later and those unable to come tonight are all here as one. Nice. And so as you experience this synergy encircling those of us that have said yes to this experience, we're just gonna just breathe as the energy, I see it like encircling all of us, going right through, first of all, our human hearts, and then it's weaving up to that high heart chakra, and then coming out through our crown and above. Ooh. And I almost feel like we're bringing this vortex of energy in. So we're going to allow it to ground into Mother Earth. It's almost like a torus field going, bringing it in through us, where the conduits, and down and grounding, and then going back and around. And as we allow this energy that is here now, and the amount of soul energy we have collected in our physical vehicles to be present, we're just going to turn up the soul volume right now. So everybody pretend you have a dial in your chest, and you're just going to turn up the soul volume and bring even more of your soul in. Woo! I feel like I want to put a pair of sunglasses on. They're so bright. There we go. So we're just going to allow this to be our container tonight and see what wants to show up. So welcome everybody. So I'm gonna just hand it over to you guys right away. Trudy, I guess you're front and center on my screen, so you get to start.
Okay. Well, I really highly experienced whatever it was you guys were doing over the weekend. Especially, I figured you were doing something yesterday afternoon, middle of the afternoon, because the energy felt really strong and powerful, and download time, and then today it sort of feels like an acclimation sort of integration kind of a day, with all that has shifted. I mean, because it feels way, way different. Way different.
Yeah, and if you could if you could bring it in just a little bit more concretely, like what have you noticed that feels different? And I know it's challenging to put into words, but
Yeah.
Just kind of give a reference.
Well, just even, like last week, well, we've just been all along, stuff is just front and center, like it's just more and more obvious. And so for me, at least today, it was another level of that more obvious kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like I had to let go. I don't have very many friends left, but I had to let go of another one today. So, it was just, it's really, really obvious that I can't anymore with that individual.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is I just felt incredibly sad all day long. And
Okay.
not even really being able to, you know, like I would check in, you know, like, okay, what's here for me? But there really wasn't anything super obvious in that regard. So I don't know if I was tuning into like some collective sadness or what, but it just was there
Uh-huh.
today.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, thanks for showing up here, and we'll be back around you in a little bit. So, okay, Jennifer, I guess you're next.
Okay. Um, so I'm remembering now that I heard your message, your and Mara's message about self-care this weekend and realized I was deficient in that. So I made a point of just doing whatever I was feeling to do both Saturday and Sunday. And it really supported me. I feel more on an even keel. My cat's trying to get under my computer.
Look at the cat.
More
Look
on
at
an
cat.
even keel today. You know, I'm processing the grief of my mother. And then last week at work was that work required a lot of my energy last week. And so I just needed the time this weekend. And like I told you, Julia, on Saturday, I was called to go to a few places that I'd gone to in town with my mom before. And I was sad that day, but it felt good at the same time. And then Sunday, I was just more back to me and felt more like this. So yeah, that's been my experience the last few days. And I was consciously trying to carry that over in today, and it has so far. So, but I know I'm not in control, but you know.
Right. No, but
you know.
okay. So, okay. And then for you, being in the midst of this ocean of emotion, if you will, because of the loss of your mother, or the transition of your mother, what are you noticing? Wait, did Diane leave? Is she back? Is she there yet? Oh, here, hang on.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm I'm sending this link to a bunch of people because
Oh, thank you.
they keep saying I can't get in. So I sent it to Sue and
Okay, I've been doing the same thing. So thank you for being my admin person, Diane. You're hired.
yeah.
Hi, Linda. Welcome.
Hi,
Hi.
Hi.
how you doing?
Well, good. Hang on a second. Now Sue can get in. Okay. So it's fascinating to me how this works. Like technology is so supporting us no matter how it feels and how frustrating it can be at times. But it's like there is only the timing that is. And you know, it doesn't matter how carefully I did this, and if I was all blah, blah, you know, and it's like, well, it's not going to go till it can go. And I guess what the universe is showing us through this, even just everybody getting online here, is that's really it is the way it is. So let's breathe into that. It is the way it is, and only it knows. We really don't have any whatever with that, because we don't. And you know, it's important to keep that in your awareness, because it helps the surrendering process to whatever you are going through at the moment to become easier. You know, that let it go, let it go, let it go. So I just wanted to say thank you, Jennifer, for sharing. And again, our hearts are with you through this time of the passing with your mother. So, okay, Linda, I'm glad you were able to join us. Good to see you.
Yes, I was out on a long walk and I never heard my phone. And then finally I heard some dings and I thought, well, something's going on here. There was like 3 or 4 dings. And so I picked it up and I go, we're just sitting down to eat, and I went, oh, tonight's a Zoom meeting. Well,
It's
everybody else
perfect.
was join when they could, and that's how it works. So
Exactly.
glad to
Exactly.
be here.
So, what have you been noticing in the last, I don't know, whatever time?
I have been noticing some really great things. You know, you mentioned something about the sun, the energy of the sun. And 3 days ago, that came to me really strongly that I needed to pay attention. Normally, I don't even think about the sun. I bring in all the, you know, guides and angels and this and that. But I went, oh, yeah, that's pretty important. And so I started working with the sun. And within a matter of a day, I was noticing some huge changes in my perception of things.
Wow.
Colors were more brilliant and vibrant. Sounds were more melodious. It was just, I was noticing all these changes that were, maybe I'm becoming a little more sensitive or to notice these things. And just the energies. And it's been great. I've been working a lot with the grid work that I've been doing, and that has been, I think, extremely helpful to give me more clarity, more energy, more of relaxation, so I can notice these things. So I'm not so bound up in my thoughts, but more present, I guess you could say. And it's been just really wonderful, very wonderful.
Awesome.
So the energy of the sun, yes, I don't know, like I say, I don't know why I think of Mother Earth all the time, but I don't just leave the sun out of it, but it came to me. So
Yeah.
thanks for your words, because it was reinforcing the fact that this was a good time to pay attention to the sun, energy of the sun.
Right. And after that first shift, whenever that was in September, I just noticed it was purer than pure. Like the sun's energy was a whole nother level of purity. This, you know, we lost the yellow of the sun a long time ago, you know, but this white, pure, it was like a whole nother level of purity I experienced. Yeah. And how it's coming to connect with us in this way. So, yeah. Well, we're happy that you could join us tonight. So,
Thank you.
welcome. Yeah. So, okay, Diane, you're up. Other than being my admin person tonight.
Lots has been going on. I have been noticing that these little things that happened, you know, who knows when in my life, are this popping in my head. And I'm like, wow, I totally forgot about that. And it's obviously something that at the time that I didn't work through or whatever. So it's constantly, this is happening to me. And yeah, I don't know, just some were big things, some were little things. And so then I'm just going through my emotions and, you know, doing the thing and letting them go. And so that, I find that so interesting. I'd be doing whatever, and all of a sudden something came in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, where did that come from? So yeah, so that's been very odd, but kind of fun. Well, it wasn't fun. They're bad. Most of them were uncomfortable things, you know, that I obviously haven't worked through. And so that's been just so one right after the other. It's very odd. And then I've just been kind of tired. I think it just makes me tired, or makes me feel tired. It can be exhausting. And today I have a headache and, where is that coming from? So, trying to whatever with that. So it's just been a process, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, and to look at, again, look at the awareness you have that you're catching these things as they're going through your awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make you wonder, have these things always kind of floated in and out? And maybe we were too busy and didn't even notice. But now with our expanded whatever, and there's also just this deep clearing that's going on,
Yeah.
So if it's not really, some of it you don't even have to do anything with, you can just kind of let it float on by.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, if there's a huge charge to it, then it's something to tend to. So, well, good.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, and we're so happy you're here tonight too.
Yeah, and I have to leave in like 15 minutes, so
Okay.
I'll just cut out.
That's fine. You just hold the space there as long as you are. So let me ask you this question then, if you're going to be leaving. Besides the past things floating in and out, what have you noticed? Have you noticed like things matching up more? Have you noticed, what have you noticed with people around you maybe? What else is there? What are you experiencing?
I'm experiencing with the people, like I've been with my family a lot lately. I think both my husband and I, he's been getting way better and just saying, well, that's not our deal, and letting that go. Kind of sitting back and watching our kids go through stuff. Like Trudy was saying, one of my kids ran into a friend that I know I'm going to be letting go. And she was complaining to my kids that I haven't called her in 2 months. She had to be the one that called me last. And so it's just interesting to sit and watch lots of emotions going on. But we're able to just kind of step back and just kind of watch it. People are really high emotion, I would say, right now. So yeah, it's interesting. And Carlin just got a kitty and she named it Gaia. I'm like,
fun.
Gaia. She goes, Mom. I go, oh, yes, I know. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
It's a cute little kitten, and we're not cat lovers, although I love Daisy. I love all animals, but she got rescued a little kitten, and it's very cute and named it Gaia.
Oh, wow.
She's on her way, I think, to figuring things out, but.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, good. Well, we're glad we got a chance to connect with you for the timing that is. So thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
Okay. Sue, where are you?
I know. I don't know if you can see me. I don't know that that's connected to the video part, but can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. You're phoning it in. Okay. So Sue might have a little bit to say.
Okay. Well, the deal today was I wanted to call Xfinity actually to do some work to changing my plan, right? And I started this way back like a little after 4 today. And they called me finally at about 5:20, and we didn't get done till just a few minutes ago. And then everything had to resync up again. I can't believe how long everything takes. It's crazy. But I mean, I kept saying to her, I have to be on a call by 6 o'clock, and everything just had to take the time that was. And I had to just surrender to that and allow. And like, okay, I'll get on here when I get here, I guess. But yeah, and I couldn't access it through my computer. I had to go through my phone. Whatever that was. So I don't know. We'll see. I may have to do something again different with my Zoom.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
have the little camera icon in the lower left corner?
I don't. Not that I.
You don't?
No. Wait. Oh, I do. Okay, let's see.
Just try
There you
that
go.
and just see.
It says unable to access.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I guess I can't do it. Whatever
Yeah.
restriction there is here right now. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's fine. We all know your beautiful face and what you look like. But why don't you share what happened to you about a week ago or a couple weeks ago?
Well, yeah, and I was not on the last sync up, which I was unfortunately unable to be on. But yes, since the birth of our new little granddaughter, which was pretty exciting, I had been doing a bit more for my son and his wife, and in particular my other granddaughter. And in that doing more, I was about to take my granddaughter home. I was going to do just something really quick at the neighbor's house, slipped on a very muddy spot and broke my wrist, my right wrist. And in that, fortunately, Julie was available. Good grief. I don't know what I would have done had you not been there for me. But in the meantime, I had to call my son, have him get my granddaughter. It was a little bit of a deal, but Julie, I had the Avasia with me. We had, put it on right away. Went to the emergency, and everything really went well in terms of what, if you could say, ease and grace through that process. The Avasia was just, I don't know, Julie, it was such a godsend in the process of bringing down the inflammation and supporting the bone. It was a pretty bad break. It was really bad. Yeah. It required surgery, which I had here the 21st. So yeah, it's forced me to be more than do more. And obviously I'm at the mercy of other people.
And she's had to ask for help or support.
Ask for help. That's really been the new thing for me, because I don't care to do that. I would rather be on the other end of it and supporting others and more independent. But it's forced me into a new way of looking at how I can receive as well, and that's important. I guess the balance is important in our life as we look at that. So yeah, not to belabor that, but that is what's occurred in my life here. And yeah, so
Sue's had a huge shifting experience, and I'm happy to say that she is taking it fully in. And we were also looking at, sometimes when we do this work and something like that occurs, it's natural to say, kind of go, oh my gosh, I talk about this all the time. How come I let myself do this? But we don't really know what any experience is for. We really don't. We don't know who we shifted as we went into that system, which we all can agree requires shifting. We don't know what our soul's energy together did. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like, Sue and I kind of talked about this briefly today, and I said, yeah, you can feel angry that if I wouldn't have done that, if I would have just been, whatever. But then there's always that bigger picture. And some things we are to go through. And we don't really know how come, sometimes until we get way on the other side and we can look back and go, oh my gosh, that's really what that was for. That's one of the things this was for. So I just want to reiterate that because, you know, while we can be aware of things, we can't prepare. And there's that fine line of awareness versus preparedness. And I guess I just wanted to say that too, because I was incredibly blessed by that experience. For one thing, I saw the power of the Avasia. I know I've seen a lot of whatevers, but this was real time. It wasn't somebody that had injured and then came to me. This was as it happened. And her wrist was like that. It was not even close to going here. And it had this baseball size inflammation when I got there, and we turned it on and started treating it. And Sue, I have to say, has an incredible pain tolerance. She was in complete shock because she's like, okay. And I go, I couldn't even believe she could be talking to me. You know, you would think that the pain would be so excruciating that you'd just be like, ah. But she actually, and part of it is we get to the urgent care, and they couldn't believe she wasn't in more pain. They couldn't believe how the swelling had gone down, that, you know what I mean? And she had lost sensation in her fingers. And by the time we were sitting there in the office when they're looking at it and deciding what they're going to do, the hand went like this and started correcting itself already just from the energy. And then the sensation started coming back in her fingertips. And so it was like this gift of real time. I could watch how the body with that usable energy could start supporting itself and starting to want to walk back. Now, the other gift of that is people were very open to they're like, whoa, what is this? Of course, then I'm there and I got to share my whole spiel. Well, they can't unknow that, you know, and everybody from the nurse, the doctor, actually she knew about microcurrent. The lady that did the Chinese finger
traps.
Finger traps. Thanks, Trudy. She was amazed. She goes, people are usually swearing at me and screaming with pain as I do this. And Sue's sitting there talking to her because I had her on ear clips. We had her autonomic nervous system managed. And then I also talked to the hand surgeon about it. And I got to talk to the anesthesiologist. And you know what I mean? It's like all these people, they can no longer unknow about microcurrent. Do you know what I mean? So it was just like, I feel like it was in a lot of ways very, very purposeful, because if that's the way it's going to start getting filtered in, so be it. And Sue might have taken one for the team. I don't know. So plus her own soul's journey. Well, Sue, welcome. And we're glad you're here with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Karen, I believe you're here now.
I am. Thank you. Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Well, it's interesting that was what I got to hear when I just signed on, and I had an experience over the weekend that was similar but different. And we were up north, and we're getting things ready to finish out the summer season, and I was power washing the boat, and I was underneath, and I thought I was well aware of my surroundings and being present in every moment, and I wound up turning my head and just catching the very edge of the trailer right on my forehead. And I could hear the little crunch, and I was like, okay, that doesn't sound good. And so I stood up right away, and my sister was there, luckily, and then Greg is up too, but my sister and I were working on the boat. And I said, I just hit my head. What does it look like? And she goes, She goes, and I lifted up my bang. She goes, oh, she says, you've got a knot up there. I'm like, and I said, well, how big is it? She goes, well, it's about this big around. And I'm like, okay. I said, well, let's not call it a knot. Let's take that out of the equation. She kind of looked at me, and she knows I'm Well, I look at things a little differently, and she appreciates that. And so I said, I said, I've got to smooth this over. And so I said, I need ice. Can you run back to the cottage and grab? I have a big ice pack that I've just kept up there. And I thought, just in case, because 2 years ago, Greg hit his head in the trailer in a different way. And but anyway, which I thought was interesting because I thought, I didn't really need to experience it, but obviously I had to experience it. So, but I got the ice pack on it, and within about 5 minutes, I couldn't feel anything up there. It's like I couldn't even feel the cold of the ice. But after a while, I was kind of like, okay, I can feel it. I asked her to look at it, and she said, well, it's going down, but she says, you still got a knot over there. I said, okay. I said, I need to talk to it. I started talking to it and holding ice up there, and I said, all right, angels, it's time to chip in. I need your help here. And then I started talking to Body, and I said, all right, Body, we're going to smooth this out. There's going to be no bruising, no discoloration or anything, because it was started to be black and blue, but it was all dissipating. And I went, we're going to smooth this out. It's not going to go into my eye. It's going to come off the side in my hairline and go back behind my ear. That's the route it's going to travel, if there's anything that has to travel. And by last night, I had it pretty well smoothed over. And I woke up this morning and there was maybe just a teeny bit left, but it was like, I was really talking to the cells. I was like, all right, everybody in line, let's go. And I could just feel everybody go like these needles and sewing and thread and all this kind of stuff up in there. And it was like, I got a chance to witness how well my body can heal. And honestly, to almost even prove it to myself again, how quickly I can heal. And that was really the blessing and the gift that I really received. That I can work within my spiritual source and really create a miracle. So that was pretty much a paradigm shift for sure.
Yeah. There is nothing like experience, let me tell you. So,
Yeah.
you can hear about it, but until you experience something, you don't really know it. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, good.
Yeah. It even gave me verbiage to help other people, though, too. I felt that was another gift, because if I experienced somebody else in some sort of scenario or pain, that I can help them to say, all right, it's time to start talking to your body. I said, you can heal this much faster and without any residual effects. Now, I didn't have the Avazi with me, but still, at least you can start the process right away. So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Good.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, and we're glad you could join us. Yeah.
Thank you. I am too. Thank you very much.
So, so for me, lots of things I've been noticing, and part of it is there's more of a compression of now, where unless it's essential to share, unless it's whatever, I can't really call it forth so much, like maybe I once was able to. So one thing that is strongly here that I want to share is, let's say at the fall, right? The fall of consciousness, really what really got split was the being and doing. And it became separate, two separate things. And really it started out as one. It was just one thing your being allowed you to do. Okay. So if you just kind of breathe into that and experience that we're walking back, we're starting this omega journey, which is the end, right? So we've somehow crossed some marker where we're starting the end, whatever that means. And so this being and doing is coming back together as one. And if you're out of balance, on either one of those, you're going to feel lopsided. If there's too much being and not enough doing, or too much doing and not enough being, then that's the schism. Because it's really, hands are very helpful right now. I mean, just look at how it just, and it can't you just experience that? It was always to be as one. And so this essential, and of course, the divine feminine holds the being, the divine masculine holds the doing. And then the grounding of this whole thing is so essential, because if you're not grounded, you can't hold these together as one, because one will take off and do one thing, one will take off and do another. And so it's that essential grounding that we've been emphasizing over and over and over again. So if we look at what has been shared about the sun participating with this next of ascension, and the sun, obviously solar, right? Solar. So it's meeting our solar, our souls, and it's bringing in all these frequencies, if you will, of soul. So if the foundation isn't solid, the grounding foundation, the building foundation, and now all this high solar energy is coming in, and you don't have that balance of being and doing, then you're going to find yourself like this. This is all hands want to do. Just kind of like, so maybe this could be a good visual. Hold up your hands and say, where am I? Let hands show you, oh, I'm not quite there. You know, I have shared with you before I drive, I go, all here, soul clear. All here, soul clear. Today when I did it, I noticed my first clap, my hands didn't quite meet. And I'm like, that's not good enough. You know, I wanted to keep doing it till everything lined up. And for me, these magical hands of ours really have the memory. They really hold the magic. So if you can allow hands to share with you where you're at, you know, how you feel, you know, sometimes you just want to go, you know, I mean, they'll really help with the expression of this. But really noticing hand is helpful, you know, rubbing your hands together. If you're doing the toning process with Mara, you know, all those things she's doing in addition to the toning with hands, right? Because that hand energy is really, well, supporting us in handling this. So notice, I guess I would invite you in this next whatever time to really start to notice hands more, be more consciously aware of hands. And Sue, I bet you have a whole new appreciation of hands, because you look at it, it took one hand just out of the picture, and that was her right hand, her doing hand.
Right.
It just said, well, you've been doing too much. We're just going to take this out of the picture, and you're going to remember how to be.
Yeah.
Right. And
Exactly.
so don't you have a whole new appreciation when you'll be able to use both hands again?
Right. Well, and you know, just FYI, I've injured this wrist before, which is interesting that I'm re-injuring it. It happened 25 years ago. I'm curious again about that, you know, in the whole mix, you know, why again did this happen to me? I feel that's really kind of an unusual event too. But I remember going through that, and I was teaching at the time, and how tricky that was. I remember all of it. Yeah. Teaching half days, trying to write out my lesson plans. Yeah. Right hand. Yeah. And so here I repeat it, and obviously that brings back that memory of how did I cope? What did I do? I know I'm going to get through this. That's probably another piece that, yes, I will be able to go through it and, master this once again. But it feels funny. It feels, I don't know if that's the right word. It feels interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and the fingertips, right? So you can tap in the air, you can tap on a book, you can tap on, sometimes just breathing and tapping when you're looking for something to come in, that's a great way to, we've always tapping body, because the sensory perceptors in your fingertips are coordinated with your crown chakra, so they work together. So, let your fingers, I always loved as a kid that commercial. And I always think of these essential things that really jumped out at me. And it was let your fingers do the walking, you know what I mean? And it was Yellow Pages. And I just remember loving that and watching that commercial with such probably remembering. I guess I would use the word now, but there was something that really called to me within that was deep in my cellular memory about the fingers and letting fingers do the walking, or let fingers do the talking, so that's one point I wanted to share. The other thing is, and let's just all take a breath and breathe, and I shared this in the forecast today. What occurred on Saturday, later Saturday, was huge. And part of the equinox energy, part of it, how it was being shared with us, is it was anchoring high earth, is how they said it. So, and Karen, I'm just going to ask you to put yourself on mute just a minute. I think there's some back feed coming in. Thanks. Just, this high earth, this higher place which we are existing in, that really was coming into over that powerful 4 or 5 days that we were talking about around the equinox. And then this next, and part of it is, I want you to feel the energy of it more than understand the words of what I'm sharing, because it is beyond any kind of words we can have. But you can feel like how everything has moved up, like everything's moved up. And so we too have to up our game, if you will. We too have to up everything, up our how we're present, up looking, everything. And one of the things that I'm sure if I took a survey here, and people can share what they've noticed maybe later, but food is really doing something different with us. And there's something that I have experienced that I feel like is part of this, and that's, we used to have an experience, and the experience would create feelings and emotions, right? And we put those emotions in either good or bad, they either felt good or not, positive or negative, whatever. But as these emotions, our emotional closet of backlog has been cleaned up, those emotions would create a memory. And then that memory would keep us stuck in the past, connected to those emotions we didn't go through. And now, so when we would have a new experience and it felt familiar, it's almost like all of us would be back in that place again, re-experiencing that trauma. So what's happened as you do your work, as you let go of that backlog of emotions that were connected to those memories, the memories don't have the same pull. They don't have the same whatever. And a lot of the things we did is we associated memories with food. I know for me, bread has always been my thing because bread just felt nurturing to me. Bread it just fed me because my grandma she was German, she made the best bread. I've never tasted any bread that's even come close to what she had. And she did it with such love. And she was one of the few people in my childhood that actually saw me. And so all that was associated with bread for me. Does this make sense? So you look at, if that stuff is all farther away, it's not going to have the same call unless it's essential, unless it's time for body to have the Dakota bread for some reason, which only it knows. And then you'll have bread. Does that make sense? So that is the best way I can explain or share this. And that's happening with everything. And so we don't even really know yet how this is going to fully take hold in our experience, but we can just kind of breathe into the magnitude of this. And there is, and I guess the word right now is convergence. There's this convergence happening, this soul convergence. And another way to, we've been saying is if it's not essential, it's going to go. If it's not to be for your soul's journey, it's going to leave. It has to. And memories or history or wow, I really love, isn't enough anymore because there will be no more magnetism to that. So it's very interesting to kind of be on the cusp of this and start to experience it. And then we'll get to see how this actually looks and plays out. So that's the other thing. And just to have in your awareness for this group, we're not so much riding the clock anymore. We're doing more with the runes. And the runes have renamed themselves, recalled themselves as they know themselves. And earlier this year, I know we talked about even the constellations are rebooting. The planets have rebooted. So everything is different as they know themselves. So that's part of it why it's not really helpful to even share about it, because they can do whatever they want. They can change it however they want to based on what's happening with our collective. Does that make sense? So more and more, it is just experiencing the pure energy behind what Mara shares or what I share, and you got it. That's the beauty of this. We all have it, and more we're just feeling it. We're just getting it. I was driving today, and I experienced this lovely young family walking, and tears just started rolling down my face. I felt so moved by that family because they were in such a pure place. This little girl, I probably have a past life with her. I'm sure I did. She was probably 3, but there was such a presence and energy about her with those parents that was, I don't know, was beautiful. And it was such a gift to be able to experience that, just in the simple driving by of that. But that energy was so palatable to me. I could just experience it. And so this accessing of that pure joy or bliss. And there's no, what's really leaving is that human like, oh, I never had that, or I want that, or whatever we used to do. It's all now. Wow, there's backfeed here. I'm going to ask everybody to mute their audio if they will for now, because I can hear myself talking. That's interesting. But we get to experience this love of all, where you sit in that place where nothing's missing. And it's just a gift of grace to experience. And that's that birthing of essential gratitude. Now, just as a re-harder here, we have the heart portal this year coming in November again. So it was here, what was that? I think it started in, boy, I can't remember, 17 or 18. It was available in 19. What was it? I'm not even sure. Again, I'd have to look, but it is gonna be, there is gonna be an opening, which, remember, this is like a real gift we get. And then I don't believe it comes in till 2024. So that essential gratitude, no matter what it is you are experiencing, so important to see the truth, to see what's really there. The truth will bring up emotions. You'll have experience of emotions when you see that truth. You move through that, and then that's how you get to it just is. And then it's natural. It's natural to go into that essential gratitude of what you feel grateful for. And remember that old saying, well, it could always be worse. You know, in a lot of ways, we're there. Like, wow, well, it could have always been. And if that's the way you get to your essential gratitude, that's fine too. But you want to have that in the forefront as we go through these next, well, for the rest, but to really do some kind of essential gratitude, make it part of your day. That's going to be one of the suggestions for October. Having that essential gratitude be part of your day, like a little ceremony, or a little, reviewing, or whatever you want to say. So, okay, well, we're gonna go around, and does anybody have any questions or clarification that they want around that, they can share.
I have a question for you. I was wondering if the heart portal, is that 11/11/2020?
Yeah, it'll be on the 11/11 again.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought. Okay. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Good. So how quickly we can move through time when we're just being. But we're just going to go back around, and I want to hear from each one of you. And if there's something from the sharing I did that, brought something forth for you, I invite you to share it. Or if there's just something else that you go, wow, I want to anchor this and I want to have this as my takeaway, share that, whatever's there. So Karen, I guess we're going to start with you. You're on the screen for me.
Okay. When you were speaking about the sun, I all of a sudden hand just said, we're drawing a big sun, and it just drew out all the flares and just the expansive nature of everything that you were talking about. And that to me was like, oh my goodness, which is why I've been craving the sun so much, because I feel like it's been helping me to ground both divine masculine and feminine, and give me that solid foundation between the two. And then the other takeaway was when you were talking about not reverting back to any of the old experiences from trauma. That is exactly what I experienced with this weekend. I had nothing came up. Something kind of all of a sudden you'll go, oh, I remember this from whenever. It was like, this was a brand new experience. This is here today, well, the other day to experience. And there was nothing that went along with it. It was like, that was a wonderful aha and a wonderful way to just experience it for what it was and the gift that was there. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good, good.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Mhm.
sharing.
Mhm.
Okay, Trudy, how about you?
For me, my takeaway was what you shared about the hand movements, and how you can use your hands as a indicator, if you will, of where you're at. I mean, because I have been finding myself doing more stuff, just like handle, just do stuff, and it's, prior was always when I was toning, but now it feels different. And I've noticed myself kind of working my hands, like trying to, like in the days when I was doing a lot of body work and my hands would get tired, I'd always be rubbing them or whatever. But I found myself doing that a fair amount over the weekend. So just to have that gratitude for hand being willing to show. So that for me, that was the big thing.
Great, great, nice. Thanks for sharing. Okay, I know Diane probably has left. Sue, how about you? Are you still there, Sue?
I had to get myself back in there again, don't I?
Sure.
No, I was going to say the very same thing that Trudy just did. The hand connection that you had referred to, which I'm also finding really supportive in Mara's work with the toning with the hands. When I start doing those movements, it really brings something forth for me that I don't know, it's pretty incredible. And of course, a new appreciation for my hand. I mean, so looking at all of it, yeah, it's the whole of it, every piece of that. So thank you again for, bringing that up, because I have felt that strongly. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, good. And thank you for joining in
Yeah.
with us. So, and
Thank you.
yeah, and we're all sending you some extra healing to energy,
appreciate
holding
that.
energy. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right. Let's see who else. Diane, Jennifer.
Yes. The hand is also the thing that most rose to the surface of what you talked about tonight too. So I thank you for bringing that to my conscious awareness. I think maybe because of the toning, when you said that, I've been noticing I've been using my hands more. And I remembered as you were talking, I was in a meeting today and I was doing this a lot. I didn't realize it until you brought that up. So, and I do tapping a bit, and it just because it feels good. I don't know, soothing, or I didn't know the connection between the crown chakra, so that's really helpful too. So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
helpful. Thank you.
Good, good. And again, we all are sending you love as you're moving through this time too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Linda.
The hand, the hand. I mean, it struck me because just in the past couple of days, I've noticed I'm starting to have a little bit of a trigger finger thing going. And so I kind of Googled that to see, what a person could do for trigger finger. And it talks about rest and resting your finger. And And so I began to notice how much I do use my hands. It's a lot. There's a lot going on with hands that I'm normally not even paying attention to. So I really am grateful that you brought all this up. And there is something with this trigger finger. I have to figure out what that all means, but there is a message there as well with that. So
Yeah. And also, honey, your Avazia will help.
yes, yes, it will help. So
I
I've
would
got,
just,
I'm not needing to see a doctor. I know I can
Mhm.
take care of this with
mhm.
the things that I have available, and to be just really paying attention to the hands and what that connection is. So thank you for talking about that. I thought that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it was nice how that came in.
Mhm.
So, okay, did we get around to everybody? Anybody else? Let me just look here. So Linda, Karen, Jennifer. Okay, I think we got everybody. So, what I want to, there's just some particle details I want to share. If you haven't participated in the toning and would like to, it is there. It's Mara did two. Well, there's one more that's coming out tomorrow, but there's the one from. There's actually 4 total then for in September. However, she's only asking 20 for all those 4, because one's a bonus and the other one was gifted. So there's 4 total, but those tonings are powerful in helping establish this new high heart placement. Remember, the high heart's moving up to our throat, and it helps with the magenta column and the ultraviolet field that we are doing now with our whole energy self. And then the other piece is Mara and I are going to do an experience up at Diane's Cabin the last weekend of October. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's the 30th, 31st, and 1st. It is going to be a very, there's some really powerful energy we can call in through, it's a full moon on Halloween. Okay, and then that land there has a lot of sacred energy. So if that's something you're interested in, I feel I have a couple slots left. I have to look because there's only a certain number that, you know, it's all about the numbers. So if that's something that calls to you, you can call me later or call me tomorrow or whatever and chat about that. And I can let you know more of the details. So that's coming up. And also, what is the other thing? Oh, these soul crafting things that have been wanting to come through. We did 2 here in September. And I know we did a midday, which isn't conducive to people that work, but that's when they wanted to be to anchor the start of this. But crafting, remember, is really code for witchcraft. And the remembering of the soul creative energy and how we bring something through. We each individually do something and then we bring it together as a collective, and then it works together. And it is a pretty powerful experience because it's not just coming to do crafts. Obviously, it's an experience and there's crafting involved. So with that being said, I feel like I'll be doing one of those for sure on a Saturday in October for people that maybe the weekday thing doesn't work for. So I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, and we will see. If you haven't received it, you'll be receiving a gift from us in the mail from Mara and I. It is an alchemy card called Essential Shift. And personally, it does exactly how it knew itself. It really does essentially help in supporting you, shifting you. So I wear it on my body. I wear it right in my bra. And Mara and I have noticed when we didn't have it on our body and what we were experiencing was something, and then we went and got our cards and used it, and then it was a completely different experience. So if you, like I said, if you haven't received it, you will probably in the mail tomorrow or the next day. And that's just a thank you gift from us to help support you on your way here. I feel like that covers it. So I, again, just want to thank each and every one of you. I feel so blessed for this community, for this sisterhood, and the willingness of each and every one of you to continue consciously working this journey as we can do this together too. So take care, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, Julie.
Thank
Bye.
you, Julie.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.